Welcome friends, here's how to use gold leaf in 3 different ways. Gold leaf is awesome because you can apply it very quickly to ornaments and it's less fussy than working with paint. You can see how they blend in with our glam punk ornaments. The gold leaf star ornament on the left side will be in a future video coming soon. Descriptions of the materials we used are listed under more beneath this video. The first technique I'll use is more traditional, and the second 2 techniques are more unconventional. One thing I wanted to test out is how gold leaf will work on these 3 different surfaces, and these are shatterproof ornaments. And I'm using Modge Podge gloss. First, I'm brushing on a thin, even coat of Modge Podge to the entire ornament. Now, I don't want to apply the gold leaf right away. I want to let this dry enough so that it feels tacky. If it's too wet, it's going to be really messy and it can ruin your design. It can fold over on itself. So we definitely want to let this dry out a little bit. Depending on the surface, it may take 1 to 5 minutes for it to feel tacky like Scotch tape. Therefore, I'll add a thin coat of Modge Podge all 3 ornaments before adding the gold leaf. Imitation gold leaf sheets are a little over 3 by 3 inches. And they come in a variety of colors. Here you can see there's at least 30 colors. Each sheet of gold leaf ranges from 2 to 8 cents. The most important thing is to find gold leaf that's rated 4.5 stars or better. Gold leaf can be used on fingernails, hair, face, candles, paintings, resin, and ornaments, as well as furniture. Even though gold leaf is a little challenging to use just because of how thin it is, look at the way they package these. They have this little gold strip at the top, and all you have to do is pull the gold strip off, and it opens up the top so you keep all of your gold leaf nice and neat, and you can just pull back the cardboard here and pull out the sheet like this, and it keeps the other ones in place. The easiest way to apply the gold leaf is keeping one of the white pieces of paper behind it. When applying it, this is sticking to my finger, so I'm applying it without the white sheet, and I'll have to be very careful because it's thin. I'm just going to rub this over it. I'm not going to be too concerned if it kind of folds on top of itself because I'll burnish it down and it will look just fine. So I'm just removing some of these pieces and adding it on over here. Right now, this is 1 sheet still. Let's see if I can add this over here. This technique works well if you'd like to change the color of a few ornaments. I'll add another sheet, burnish it, let it dry, and then whatever little holes are still open, I'll go back and repeat this process once it dries. On the frosted ornament, I'll show how to use the white paper behind the foil sheet and show how it's easier to apply than just the foil itself. While applying the foil is much easier this way, it's breaking it apart some because the surface is a little rougher than the smooth ornament and it's a little bit more tricky to use. Luckily, it's a forgiving process. Once the gold leaf is applied, I burnish it with my fingertips to smooth it out. I didn't get as much coverage on this ornament, so I'll have to go back and repeat the process again. So it will take longer on the satin ornament compared to the shiny ornament. As I apply the foil to the glitter ornament, I can already tell this is going to be a little harder to stick down and to define all the texture, although it isn't as bad as I thought it would be. It just takes a little bit more time and it's more labor intensive. By far, the smooth ornaments work the best for this process. Don't worry, I have some easier ways to use gold leaf coming up. I let my ornaments dry for about 30 minutes. Now I'm going back to smooth them down a little bit more and fixing any blemishes that are still showing. Once I'm finished, I seal them with another coat of Modge Podge to keep the gold leaf from flaking off. Here's how my gold leaf ornaments mix with store-bought ornaments when making an ornament wreath. For a second ornament, here's a unique way to use gold leaf to create stripes. I have my gold leaf right here. It's still inside the paper. I definitely want to keep it this way. And I can just cut this into thin strips. Some of it might fall off. I'm going to be very careful and pull off the top part right here. And that didn't quite work out the way I wanted. I'll just place it out on here since it already came off. I really like using the cookie sheet. And I have it on here so I can collect my leftover pieces. I'm using a double-sided tape that looks like this, and it's 1/8 inch thick. When I pull it off the roll, one side is sticky, and all I'm going to do is turn this upside down. I still have the backing on the back, and I'm just pressing down like this and smoothing the excess gold leaf off. You might think that you get a paper cut from doing this, that it's relatively smooth on the side, so it's not too bad. Then I can go back and use some of the leftover pieces to fill in the parts that are empty. Sometimes it goes on right away, and you might like some of the broken up lines to create a more rustic look. Now, when using gold leaf, this is so thin and it's so fragile, you have to be really careful with it. An area where there's no wind is best when working with gold leaf. So we just press down, smooth it down, wipe it off, and you can create your own stripes. I'll repeat this process until I have about 2 feet worth of tape before starting an ornament. I'm going to add vertical stripes on this ornament. I'm just taking a piece of paper that I already pre-cut. I'm lining it up at the top of the ornament and taking it down to the very bottom where there's a little indentation to find the center, and then I'll cut it. Then I'm going to use this to cut strips, and I think I'll add 8 stripes. Now I'm pulling down about 1 inch of the backing off the tape and aligning it up with the top of the ornament and pulling it down to the bottom center. If it curves a little bit, I can just pull it up slightly and keep manipulating it until I get the line straight. It's easier to continue the second strip from the bottom up to the top of the ornament. Now I'll add the other 6 stripes in time lapse. I find it easiest to divide the ornament into quarters and then to divide it into 8ths. This helps me create the spaces in between more even and consistent. To stuff this, I'm using some batting. I'm just tearing off a little piece and I'm spreading it out so that it's more light and airy and it will fill up more space. I will alternate the batting and saran wrap to create a snowy and icy effect. And I'll take the end of a brush or a wooden skewer and stuff this inside and alternate between the two. I'll continue stuffing it until it's stuffed all the way up inside the neck and you don't see any spaces between the sides of the ornament and the materials on the inside. Now there is a little speckling in between. I can clean that off by scratching off with my thumbnail. Also, I can use a little bit of alcohol to wipe it off and to keep the area nice and shiny. Then I'll put on the cap and we have a finished candy cane ornament. Ornament number 3. So this is one of my favorite ornaments to complete because it's so easy. And we'll be using this in place of paint on a lot of our ornaments. I will start with gold. I can pull some of it off so that way I can spread it out a little bit more. I'm just going to rub it on the ornament. I did not add any glue. I can even do this and just let some of it fall off. I can reuse some of it. Notice how it's staying on without any glue. Isn't that amazing? You can create ornaments super quick and fast if you like this look. My idea is to blend different metal colors together. So I'm going to be using the gold, rose gold, and antique silver. I will keep layering between the gold, the rose gold, and the antique silver, leaving some spaces in between so that I can add something on the inside to add another color. These ornaments can take as little as 5 to 20 minutes to make. On the inside, I'm stuffing the ornament with tulle and saran wrap. You can buy it on the roll and you can buy it by the yard. I'm just stuffing the inside, alternating between the colors like I did on the last ornament. Here's the final look before I add the sailor and fringe. After the ornaments are filled up, it's time to add another coat of Modge Podge to the outside. I love the Modge Podge on the outside. It makes all the materials more unified. While I love these ornaments the way they are, and I might keep this one because it's really pretty, some of them may not turn out as well, and I want to add fringe to the top just to give them a little bit more of that glam punk look. I cut out a piece of felt that's thick like the fringe, and I wrapped around the top to make sure it goes all the way around, so I can cut my fringe to the length of the piece of felt. Now I'll use Beacon Fabric Tack glue, which is a fabric glue, and add glue around the ornament cap and wrap the fringe around it. When I finish the ornament, I'll cut the fringe at varying lengths and glue the edges down. This is what I did with these ornaments as well. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're interested in seeing how we make the star ornament integrating gold leaf. And we would love it if you boop that like button. Happy holidays, my dear friends.